What's good, my people? Hope everybody doing pretty good out there, staying out the way and things of that sort. Got a little something entertaining for y'all today. It's gonna be a little challenging. It's gonna be thought provoking, but it might piss some of y'all off, which that ain't a bad thing either. As long as we challenging each other and pushing each other to continue to evolve and think through things. But before I get started, man, I just want to tell everybody out there, man, make sure you love on your people while you got them, because we know it, especially over these last 3, 4 years with that one word that took a lot of people out of here. Life is just real short, man, and you're not guaranteed anything no more. So you got to really love on your people while you got them. So I just want, and stating that, I'm gonna go and move on with the process. This video here is about Larry Hoover and the way he was just commuted not too long ago. Guess maybe in the last few days. And that caused a little bit of a stir, excitement for certain people, somewhat like myself. But there was, on the other hand, there was a lot of, let's say, anger or upset from certain demographics of people, including our own, that didn't think it was justified or whatever the case may be. But the question or the statement of Derek Chauvin came up. Now, I don't know, well, the majority of y'all should remember who Derek Chauvin is. But Derek Chauvin is the officer that was on duty when the whole thing with George Floyd. And that started floating around the net real heavy, saying that they believe Trump commuted Larry Hoover's sentence based on a lateral move that he wanted to make to go ahead and either pardon or most likely commute Derek Chauvin's sentence. Now, I'm reviewing about three separate situations here. I'm reviewing Jason Whitlock, which is a brother, but he's more on the conservative end of things. And he may say some things that kind of piss you guys off, but it's like I say, it's thought provoking. And he has some hell of a takes on some things, even though everybody may not agree with it. But he has some hell of a takes on some things. But that's more the conservative side. Right here, you got Roland Martin, which I'm sure everybody on the liberal end of things pretty much know who Roland Martin is, excuse me. And I stopped listening to Roland Martin some time ago because I felt he was extremely biased. But what I did notice in this particular video that I watched of his, I think he brought the facts. I think he brought the facts, and kudos to the brother. But I'm trying to be even-handed, conservative as well as liberal, Roland Martin here. And then this young lady here, Sabi Sabs, which I talk about her quite a bit. Y'all should make sure y'all check her channel out, man. She's more of an independent. She's even-handed with it, and she's not afraid to tackle some very, very challenging subjects, but with a well thought out process. And I think you guys would really come to appreciate her. But let's move forward. I'm going to go ahead and slide on this first clip right here. And like I say, it's going to be challenging, but we're going to go ahead and move through it. And I'm going to give you my thoughts as we go. Here we go.
Pardon commutation that Trump has ever done. Larry Hoover. Larry Hoover founded Gangster Disciples in Chicago, that the Gangster Disciples became culture throughout the entire Midwest, spread to New York, spread to Los Angeles, but very, very powerful throughout the Midwest. In Indianapolis, where I grew up, Gangster Disciples, Vice Lords, big influence throughout the entire Midwest. At one point had 30,000 members. Larry Hoover has been as infamous and as famous in the Midwest, in the whole hip hop, urban culture scene as anybody. And he's been locked up for 50 years. But rappers and others have been screaming, free Larry Hoover, for a solid 40 years, maybe longer, since I was a child. No, this man ran a massive criminal operation and became very infamous and famous. And Trump, this commutation and or pardon in federal, it does not let Larry Hoover out of prison because he has state convictions that run about 200 years.
Now, it's important. We're looking at this particular subject with Larry Hoover to consider this man has been in prison for 52, 53 something odd years. The original reason he was sentenced in the state was, I think it was 72 or 73. Someone was deleted. And I don't know if they're saying he was directly involved or whatever the case may be, but that's why he was sentenced. But then later on, there was a movement to have him released, I believe, and they turned around and sentenced him again federally. I believe it was 97 or 98, somewhere in there, and gave him 6 life sentences. Now, he's credited with establishing or founding the GDs, Gangster Disciples or whatever. Okay. And the amount of time this man has done, I don't know exactly where you fall on it. Everybody can have their own opinion, however you feel. But I think it was more one of them situations somewhere where, like, Tookie Williams out of California, that's supposed to have founded the Crips, or one of the members that founded the Crips, but they ended up putting him down, so to speak. And there has always been a thing basically in that era of 60s and 70s of COINTELPRO or whatever other type of government agencies that may have been somewhat paranoid with the plight of certain communities. And let's remember at these times what was going on with the United States, Russia. I think it was the issue with China back then, and things all this was going on. There was a paranoia everywhere, and people with these type of influence, they were looked at as a threat. Okay, so I think it is important to remember that. I'm gonna go ahead and get in this next clip because I want to get a little deeper into it, so we get into the Derek Chauvin thing, and so I can tell you guys what I'm seeing. And there's a political move in this, like Jason just stipulated here, but it's an effective one. But we're gonna get into a little bit more of that in a minute. But let's go.
It confuses me, it baffles me, but I somewhat understand this pandering to infamous characters in hip hop, urban culture, rappers, gang leaders like Larry Hoover. I get the pandering that there's some sort of PR campaign. Trump is trying to win, prove that he's not racist, score points with rappers and the culture. And look, some of this may be important to Trump just on a personal level, because when he passes, that Trump name is still going to be with his youngest son, Barron.
It's important, the last point he made, that Trump name is still going to be around, and he has a very young son. So we would be remiss to be thinking some of these moves that he's making. We know he's interested in legacy, but this may not only be legacy in short term just for his name. He's thinking about his posterity. He's thinking about, or he could be thinking about, making Trump a household name in politics or the presidential whole process, like your Bushes and your Kennedys were at some point, or whatever the case may be. It's important to notice that. But also, it's important to pay attention as, and I see the comment, give me a minute. It's important to pay attention because he's setting up a serious play here. Now, with the Larry Hoover thing, which we're going to go through in a minute, and it's going to talk about Larry Hoover, what I believe Roland Martin is going to speak to, and speak about the last 3 presidents or so that were Democratic that were asked to pardon Larry Hoover, or commute, but did not. Give me some thumbs up and hearts out there, y'all, please, and subscribe and follow. So it's important to pay attention to that. What else is important to pay attention to is the setup that's going on. We said when Trump got elected the first time with his whole MAGA movement, we said there's a lot of racists in him and so on and so forth. Now, to this date, I don't feel that way, like feeling all of MAGA is racist. Is there a racist end? Yes, there is. I'm not saying that there isn't. But that was the most loyal part of his base. But what I want you to do is look past all the race issue and look at the bigger picture here for a minute. What's most important to recognize is that Trump, when he first ran, he started bringing in Republicans that had never voted before. These were all new people coming in and registering. That's why the Republicans could do nothing with him when he got elected the first time, and his whole get along gang would turn on him. Because Trump spoke to a demographic of the country that no one spoke to as far as politicians were concerned. And what I'm saying is Trump is putting down the same play, but he's doing it with us now. But a demographic of us that has been ignored, pushed to the side, and disenfranchised. And I will be willing to jump out and say that's the black male or the street guy or whatever the case that what you want to classify it is that he's speaking to, he's moving toward. Also, let's not forget, and I'm about to get your comments, Trump was very huge in hip hop before he started running for any type of political office and things of that sort. Let me get a couple of these comments. Okay, Maura, I see you. Happy to see you up in this thing early. And I know you're gonna keep me on my toes. What's up, Ja? Well, Ja been hitting me with a lot of stuff today. Got me over here thinking, boy. I swear for God. And we got baby mama in here too. That's what's up. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and slide on this next clip because this thing about to get deep.
Clean up his brand as a racist is important to him beyond Donald Trump. But I still don't understand this, not fully. And then it makes me put my tinfoil hat on. And it makes me say, did Trump pardon Larry Hoover from federal charges, knowing that Larry Hoover is going to have to stay in prison on state charges? Did he do this as a setup so that now he can pardon Derek Chauvin?
I absolutely believe that may be part of it, but I don't think it's the only reason. I think the reason why he pardoned Larry Hoover because he knew the demographic it would speak to. And he knew that this demographic would be loyal to him based on what he did his last time in office when he did the First Step Act. There wasn't a huge amount of black men that went for Trump. The majority of them the vast majority went for Kamala. But there's 20, 25 or whatever percent in there that went for Trump. I was one of those. Because I seen the effect of what he did and had on guys coming out the Fed joint and a number of other things. Okay, so it's important to realize that. But I think this move here was about Larry Hoover and doing that favor and showing us in the beginning of his administration, he don't need to wait to the back end to try to do something for you. He'll do something for you in the beginning. Remember, this president is a transactional president. Something for something. Quid pro quo. You do something for me, I'll do something for you. Keep that in mind as we go through this. Now, I want to point to something else. This is what I want to point to, and I want y'all to keep this in mind. This presidential election, in recent U.S. presidential election, voters turnout has generally been between 50 to 65% of the eligible voting population. This translates to an average of approximately 130 to 160 million people voting in each election. And it states right here that in 2024, this past election, approximately 154 people voted, representing 65.3% of the citizens voting age, blah, 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 blah. Before I show you this last thing here, let's pay attention. This country is so divided right now. and it's divided almost evenly of conservatives and liberals. Those numbers there that you just seen, that represents, for the most part, that 50%, 50-50. Only way you're going to win an election is if you pull from this number right here. That's the overall amount of people in America. 340 million people. Now, they're saying about 100, we'll say round down, 150 million voted. So let's just say about 190 or 200 million did not even bother. So the ones that did vote, it don't matter what you say on whatever particular branch, whether it's liberal or conservative, they're going to go with their party. It does not matter. So right now you vying for those other 190 to 200 million people. And I would argue and say that's what Trump is doing, because that's what he did last time. He's bringing in new voters or people that don't usually vote at all. Now, we got a couple more comments before I slide on this next clip. What we got here? Let's say that's how it should work. Yeah, but you always think ahead of things anyway. Boy, this is my main brother right here. What's up with your family? What's up? Talk to him. Yeah, I appreciate you listening. See, we used to building anyway. Actually, when he was doing that First Step Act, me and my brother right here, which we know each other from the streets, we'll be up in my cell, man, chopping it and building on this and talking about how we were thinking things was going to play out. And it pretty much played out exactly how we was projecting. But that's family right there. So, yeah. So what I'm saying is this. The governor in Illinois is a Democrat. Pay attention to the play now. He's a Democrat. You didn't cut Larry Hoover loose. And it's a Democratic president with ambitions to run for president in 2028. Can he afford to hold Larry Hoover in prison for a long time and not let that man out? And I think this might be the setup, but we're going to move a little longer, because guess what? I got a little something else for y'all too. Where was it? Okay, here we go.
And so when the Daily Wire started promoting Free Derek Chauvin, did they do this because they were tipped off and there was a plan in effect to pardon Derek Chauvin from federal charges, knowing that he would still be incarcerated on state charges? Was this a brand play for the Daily Wire? Was it as it's a perhaps brand play for Donald Trump? Is all of these machinations, are they all just moving pieces on a chessboard in a game of public relations and brand enhancement?
Now, dig what he's saying. It's basically identical. Derek Chauvin, the one that's supposed to did what he did to George Floyd, depending on how you're looking at it. And I'm not trying to argue the point, but I'm trying to look past that to try to show y'all the play. If Derek Chauvin get his sentence commuted, Derek Chauvin don't go home. Derek Chauvin has to go back to the state joint, just like Larry Hoover had to do, but Larry Hoover went to the state joint in Illinois. Derek Chauvin has to go back to the state joint in Minnesota. He does not get right out. Same scenario. But guess what else? Derek Chauvin goes back to Minnesota, where you have another Democratic governor. This Democratic governor ran as the vice president running mate for Kamala Harris. Remember back when Hillary Clinton ran against Trump, say she wasn't worried about Trump beating her because of her big blue wall? Illinois with Chicago and Minnesota, both of those are part of her blue wall. Trump is setting up a play here. We got a comment. Let's check it out. I knew it was going to be you more. I think I read somewhere that Trump has asked the governor of Illinois to consider granting Larry Hoover a pardon. Not 100% sure. I was up reading at about 3 a.m. half asleep. But see, here's the thing. If he did ask him, it would only be asking him to set him up. Because let's just say he don't pardon him or he don't let him out. What happens? He gets to say to a Democrat, basically blame them for not supporting criminal justice reform. Blame them for not giving black men another opportunity. He gets to turn the argument on them. Now, don't forget, out of the two of the individuals he released, the talk show people, whatever, the man came out at his first press conference. What he said, he started speaking about African Americans being in prison and being disenfranchised that didn't get the same programs he get. And he said, I quote, and you know why. Do you think that's a coincidence that he came out and said that? Think about what's going on, people. Think about what's going on, but I don't want to get too deep into it. Then did another comment pop up? I don't want to. Yeah, baby mama got the name. I didn't say the name because I be butchering up people's names. That's the name right there to people. Yeah, baby mama keep me together. Okay, let me go ahead and slide on this next one because I want to move us through this because it's about to get real good.
Larry Hoover built a criminal organization that still has major influence in Chicago and throughout the Midwest. He terrorized neighborhoods. It is still, I mean, you want to talk about domestic terrorism, this gang violence that plagues urban areas and black communities. This is far worse than anything Derek Chauvin has been accused of, because Derek Chauvin is convicted for being at the scene of George Floyd's overdose. I know many people don't like that, don't want to hear that. You want to live in a delusional world where, oh no, he killed, this was intentional, he killed. I get it. That gets you leverage at work, and it allows you to accuse white people of racism and demand Juneteenth and all that. I get it. I get the benefits of pretending that this guy didn't overdose. But in reality, he overdosed.
Now, I know that got some of y'all hot out there. I know it got some of y'all hot out there, but I had to let that man get that off. Reason why I had to let him get it off, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to be even-handed and let each individual, wherever you are on the spectrum, you have a part of the argument that represents you. Now, I think it's important to also state this. It's unfortunate what happened to the brother George Floyd. Now, whether he was high, overdose, or whatever the case may happen is unfortunate, but let's understand this. If he had an opportunity to do it all over again, and if he could choose if he wanted to be George Floyd as we understand him today, I'm sure he would have passed on that. Just like Rosa Parks. There's plenty of people that didn't get a seat up. But it just so happened at the time, fate chose her. And that's why you remember her today. Fate chose George Floyd. You could argue that fate, and I'm not trying to say these people are like no Christian or God figure, but just understand the point. Fate chose Jesus. You can say God or whatever the case may be. But look at the effect that Jesus had. Look at the effect that Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Guevara, or whatever his name was, over Cuba, or, you know what I'm saying, George, these people or people come along throughout time, and these are markers that come and it changes society. So this is my point. My point is, whether you agree that he died of an overdose or whether you believe Chauvin killed him, to me, which you have some people out there, I'm gonna get your comments in a minute. You got some people out there saying that they would rather choose to leave Chauvin in prison, even if it was at the cost of other black men, other people. And I just don't feel that that's our choice to make. That's my point. But let me get a couple of these comments because I don't want to get on my soapbox here. Okay, my bro then pulled up through here. Man, this joker here, man. I told you he been in China. He ain't been every damn where. People are blinded by the everyday distractions. Yeah, you're right. You're right, bro. Shit. His matter of fact, his ass, he over in Japan right now. Yeah, I'm telling you goddamn business. He over in Japan right now. He just won't sit his ass still. Okay, what you got more? I see where you going. Trump setting up a play to run for. That's why I love you more. That's why I love you. But I shouldn't have hit your shit because you always goddamn giving it up. But not only that, we're gonna get a little deeper. I think he is setting up a third term. Barely 6 months into more. Be quiet, you talk too much. Let me go on and get through this for more give up every damn thing, man. Let's get this next one.
There's no comparison between Larry Hoover and Derek Chauvin. None. And so maybe this is all a setup so that Trump can pardon Derek Chauvin while he remains in prison on state charges. None of these things, I'm telling you, at the time when they started just out of nowhere, Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire, hey, pardon Derek Chauvin, I was like, this doesn't make sense. What's going on here? Why are they asking Trump to do this now? Why is Trump doing what he's doing even now with these pardons early in his second term? Why is this? Don't most presidential pardons come at the end of the term? Presidents pardoning career criminals and like real criminals is somehow become a priority. And perhaps I can see this play with Larry Hoover, that it's really about Derek Chauvin.
Now, I see the comment. Give me a minute. I love the point and I love his thinking, but I think it's a little short-sighted. Now, the Daily News, Daily Wire may have been tipped off about what he was going to do because he is going to do a lateral and go take care of Derek Chauvin. But I'm saying this to y'all because I don't want y'all to trip. I want y'all to see the play. Now, Moore just tipped my hand here, talked about the third term. In order to do a third term, it has to be, I think, a constitutional amendment. Y'all correct me on this, but I know it has to be 2/3 of the state that has to agree. But not only that, I believe Trump is moving to try to get either the 22nd or either the 23rd, 22nd or 23rd amendment added to the Constitution. Trump is trying to do a number of things. When Trump first won in office, he always compared himself to Lincoln. I think he wants to get to that stature or above. Trump also wants the Nobel Peace Prize. I think Trump is also trying to put together a legacy. Now, we talked about the big blue wall that Hillary Clinton referred to. You got two governors, but at both of these men right here that are controversial people that's still going out, that's going to be in prison, that the governors have to move on. They both are Democratic. Case in point, Michigan. Michigan is pretty much a Republican state. What tips Michigan from Republican to Democrat if you have a large turnout in Detroit? That's the same thing as Minnesota, same thing as Illinois. So if he can run like he just did with his last election, he took all of the swing states. Kamala did not get one. And I feel bad for her because I believe she was set up. You know what I'm saying? So this is what you have to pay attention to. So only states he got to be concerned about is the blue wall states to try to get enough states for possibly a third term or a 22nd or 23rd Amendment added to the Constitution that also requires 2/3 of the 2/3, 3/3 states, however they go. Okay, let me get these comments because they're building up. And then we're about to go into the liberal end of the comment, the argument. I need y'all to pay attention to this. Give me some more of them thumbs up out there, y'all, and some hearts or whatever, if y'all fucking with me like that. Yeah, boy, don't be over there laughing, man. You know you starting shit. Uh-oh. My mama here, man. My mama here. And I told you every time she hear Trump, man, steam come out her ears. She take me out behind the woods shit. I love you, baby. Don't jump me. Don't jump me, baby. I love you. Let's see what she got to say. I disagree with you, my son. Black people and let me see. Black people and people of color are smarter than that. Don't be fooled by the okie doke. You need to be. You need to be paying attention to the left hand. Hey, my brother here, man, get your mama. But mama, you make a good point. Let me finish what you're saying here. You are too busy raving at the left hand. Mama, all I'm asking you to do, keep your mama calm, because you know she's gonna attack me. Keep your mama calm, bro. Keep her calm. Okay, now listen. All I'm asking you to do is just listen. If you don't agree, we can respectfully agree to disagree, but just listen to what I'm about to paint, because I ain't got to the end. Let me go through. I'm about to go to your man Roland Martin. We're about to go through that, and then I'm gonna wrap this thing up. And I think even if you disagree, you'll kind of get to see where I'm coming from, because I'm gonna touch some more things if more don't tell every goddamn thing. Okay, here we go. Maury up here again with some more shit. Trump is already holding $1 million play fundraiser. He's loading up. Okay, we're gonna put that away because mama gonna get mad to see that. What's up, my baby? What's going on with you? You say, dude, well, you agree. You could agree with my mama. That's my mama there. But I deal with you later. I deal with you later. I can't do nothing to you right here, mama listening. Okay, now we're gonna go off into Roland Martin. Roland is the liberal end of things, and we're gonna hear what he got to say about what's going on. Here we go.
Let's just understand politics. And there were people who were calling for Obama to commute Larry Hoover's federal sentence. There were people who were calling for Biden to do it as well. And the reality is, if either one of them had commuted the federal sentence of Larry Hoover, Fox News, Conservative Talk Radio, Steve Bannon, all the blogs, Obama, Biden let out thug, drug kingpin, murdering Larry Hoover. Those would be the headlines.
They would. But as you mentioned, what he did was really inconsequential. Why? Because he still has state charges, and that's what he's going to be serving. What he knows how to do is marketing.
Now, when he talked about Obama, Biden, and all that, then we said, and the Fox News is going to say they did this, that. I don't give a damn about that. I don't give a damn about what Fox News say. I don't give a damn what CNN say. Do something for me. Do something for mine. Show me that you're willing to give me something for my loyalty, meaning for my people. And I don't mean I'm trying to disenfranchise nobody else's people, but we keep giving something, but we keep giving nothing. Give me something. That's my point of view. Okay. Now, I'm not taking away from the fact that Trump is a hustler. I'm not taking away from the fact that Trump is a damn grifter. I know what the hell he is. But I'm a hustler my damn self. And I can't never knock the hustle. But at the end of the day, are you transactional? Are you willing to do quid pro quo? Because the Obamas and which Obama legacy is pretty much done now. I ain't trying to fight nobody, mama. I ain't trying to fight. Just my opinion. Biden, poor man, really did Kamala Harris bad. She was a victim, But listen, we done made it to a point where we need to start seeing something. But I'm not going to get on the soapbox. Let me go on and slide on this next topic because my mama watching me, so I got to be cool. Don't start no shit out there more. You're trying to get me in trouble.
And that makes everybody happen. It's the most exquisite plan that he gets credit to release somebody or commute their sentence. But Larry's going nowhere. It's just marketing. And I think that he is going to get a lot. Listen, this is the man he's going to be in some more rap videos. Well, I wouldn't put it past Trump to be in some rap videos. That's just the 8th grader in him who wants to be popular. And he was popular with rap artists back in the day and popular with some of them now. But he's making sure that, again, I just see an 8th grade guy when I think about how he functions and wants to interact with people. He's trying to work on being that popular guy, and he gained some points here.
As she stated, this is a liberal channel. He gained some points. What he's doing is what every other president could have done. Is he a grifter? Is he hustling? Yes, he is. There's nobody that's got any sense out there that don't see that he is. Let's go to the Bible for a minute, not to get super religious, but when Pontius Pilate ran into the issue he ran into, when they wanted to do what they wanted to do with Jesus, what'd he do? He jumped out there and he pandered to the people. He said, who do you want, Barabbas? Or you want Jesus? Thinking they'll choose Jesus. They chose Barabbas. But he did that to quiet and placate and pander to the people. That's what politics is. That's what politics is. Now let's slide on.
Is that I felt that President Obama played it too safe. And what I often argue.
Now hold on, I'm cutting in here for a minute. Don't be mad at me. Pay attention to what Roland is saying. We all know Roland is super liberal, but pay attention to what he's saying from this point on.
Is that I felt that President Obama played it too safe. And what I often argue is that the presidency it holds tremendous power. And what we've had are individuals who know about the power, but have been unwilling to maximize the power.
Now I'm going to slide right into this next one because this goes in together. I see your comment. Give me a minute.
Is that I felt that President Obama played it too safe. And what I often argue is that the presidency it holds tremendous power. And what we've had are individuals who know about the power, but have been unwilling to maximize the power. The president can issue a pardon or a commutation anytime, any day. Damn it, do it. And let me be real clear. Fox News, conservative media, they're going to criticize you anyway. So you do it. And if they say, why don't you do it? Because I'm the president.
Now, can you get mad with somebody that's getting sick and tired of the same hustle? Because let's just be honest. We know all these damn politicians is hustling. We know that's what they're doing. But now you got somebody that's hustling, but willing to wet your beak a little bit. While these other ones hustling and rocking you to sleep saying, well, I can't do it because they gonna say this. If you go home to your mama and didn't do something she told you to do and say, well, mama, I didn't because they gonna say that, your mama would knock you from here into next year. For my generation. So why should I be willing to let a politician come tell me what somebody else gonna say? After I didn't suffer and mine didn't suffer for I don't know how long. But now you got a man that's getting something done, maybe untraditional, but only thing this man is doing, he's doing what all of them is done. He's just not hiding it. But we're gonna slide on this next one.
This is actually one of the reasons why a lot of people didn't vote for them last time. Because they are responding to strength. And let me be real clear. Donald Trump is a thug. Donald Trump is a misfit. But what he is doing is maximizing the office of the president to its full potential. Again, if a Democrat wins in 28, I'm not waiting for that once a year part and stuff. I'm going to drop it now, move the hell on. But you know what they do? You need to toughen your ass up. And you need to buck up and recognize that when you have the power, you fucking use it. And when I was championing for him to appoint a black woman to the Supreme Court, and black organizations, black female organizations, were scared to publicly call for him to do it.
The black woman has been the most faithful constituent to the Democratic Party. And this man would not even put a black woman where she was supposed to be, because that was one of the biggest reasons for his success, because he was concerned about what somebody gonna say. When you need somebody like a Trump that's going to say damn what they say. But the reason why Trump can say damn what they say is because Trump got a demographic of white people that has never been spoken to before, that he was speaking to in heaven his last term. That ain't going to turn on him. And now he's speaking to a demographic of people of color now that's coming out to support him because he's giving them something when ain't nobody else gave him nothing. Because he's doing what Moore went ahead and tipped his hand to earlier. He's lining something up. Look through the history. I'm going to get your comment in a minute. Look through the history of the presidencies. You've never seen no president partnering people at this level or partnering people this early in their administration, ever. That's because he got a couple of more plays he's going to pull off. And one of the biggest plays that I think he's going to pull off that's going to offend a lot of people has to do with this birthright citizenship. Me and my big brother Tony talked about this already. You hear that, man? We talked about it. That's where this is going. And all the prisons being agreement to ship people out of here in prison, and you probably didn't know that Great Britain then talked to the people over in the Amazon to build a huge prison as well. Now let me take you back in history for a minute before I grab this comment. This has happened before. When King James, the first King James that did the King James Bible that everybody loves, when he took over Ireland and Scotland, he had a problem from the Lutherans, the Presbyterians, or the whatever they was called, giving him hell. You know what he did? He loaded their ass up on ships and sent them over here to what became the United States of America. So this has been done before. There's something about to go down, people, and something big's about to go down, and it's going to be it's going to be not consistent with what the foundation of this country was based up on, because old ideologies that was good for commerce are no longer useful anymore. Let me get this comment here. I'm about to end this. I only got about 3 more joints. Okay, unknown. Happy to see you up in here again. Nobody cared when Biden let out Larry's number 2. Good point. I didn't know that. That's good information. That's why we need you up in here, unknown. Because one thing we do, we try to bring the facts, and we respect the facts in here. If you got the facts, we gonna respect the facts. Now we might put it on in, as old boy say over there, Kwame Brown, sprinkle a little mama's cooking on it and stir that thing up for y'all that know what that risk is. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is Roland Martin's last clip, and I got 3 more after that, and I'm gonna get out y'all way. This right here is important, right here, and I got a statement that I'm gonna make on the backside of this right here. I was just looking at the damn thing. Here we go, right here.
Did anybody in the meeting raise the point about appointing a black woman to the Supreme Court? No. Y'all had an opportunity sitting in front of the President of the United States, and here were all of the young bucks and the OGs, and not one black person had the audacity to bring it up. They were silent.
They were silent when they had the opportunity in front of Barack Obama to bring up about a black woman on the Supreme Court, the OGs and the up and coming in there in front of him. He going around and questioning the top members, and nobody brought it up. But you saying to us, regular people, that we need to wait on them to say something for us? You crazy as hell. You crazy as hell. You crazy as hell. Not me. Not me. Not us. We just not buying it no more. We not. So give us somebody that's going to give us something. Something. We're going to slide on this next video right here. I only got like 3 more and I'm gonna get on out y'all way. But this is what we're gonna bring you in the conclusion at.
Happy about, Larry Hoover's sentence being commuted. I think it's time. People have done their time, right? And they said he's been on good behavior. That being said, in order for Larry Hoover to walk free, J.B. Pritzker has to pardon the state charges. This could possibly be a political move by Donald Trump, because if J.B. Pritzker chooses not to pardon him, then he stays in prison. And what Trump can then say to help the Republican Party, which he would probably do this, what he would then say is, I commuted Larry Hoover's sentence, and all the Democrats had to do was drop the state charges so he could walk free, and the Democrats wouldn't even let him go.
I'm gonna run this next one right behind it because it follows right in behind. Like I say, Sadie Saab, she good. Check her out.
So now it puts the ball back in the hands of the Democratic Party, because now this story is getting a lot of attention, by the way. Now that we know the federal charges have been commuted, if you want Larry Hoover to go free, it's really in the hands of J.B. Pritzker now. So if J.B. decides not to do it, that's a strike on the Democratic Party. Here's another thing to think about. It has been alleged that J.B. Pritzker could entertain a presidential run in 2028. This is something that could come back to bite him. Something to think about. If he doesn't do what people feel is the right thing and pardon him, this could come back to bite him in a 2028 presidential run.
Now, I see the comment up there. Give me a minute. I'm about to go into silly season. Everything I'm about to say, I'm cooking up shit over here. Okay? You ain't got to believe none of it. I'm not trying to argue none of it with you. I'm just telling you the possibilities of what I see that could happen. Let me get this comment real quick before I start cooking, and then I'm gonna get out y'all way. What you got, Ja? Political time bomb. Ford operate. That's exactly what you said to me the other day. That's exactly what this is. Now here we go. We about to cook. He did Larry Hoover. He do Derek Chauvin, hypothetically. You got 2 Democratic governors that's over both of them. One that just ran as vice president for nominee with Kamala Harris. That didn't work. Okay. Then you got Pritzker, which is also a Democrat. Either one of them choose not to let these men go or give them some type of action. You got the Republicans that's going to come out and attack them, and they're going to use the bases that feel that they were most disenfranchised to go ahead and motivate them to come out and vote. And whatever this man promised them, with additional that Trump promises, people are going to listen to, especially those particular groups. They're going to be an armed weapon against whomever in office in those states, and that he turns them on or turns them against. Okay. Trump, that birthright citizenship, that whole thing that's going in front of Congress now. When he stated, or when the Supreme Court took that on, he kept saying that for all the attorneys that's representing this to speak for that, they must remember to bring up this was for slavery, the descendants of slaves. If you go back and look at the 14th Amendment, that's what it speaks about, Aboriginal or the descendants of slaves. And if you go back, look at Coolidge in 1924, he passed an Indian Identity Act or something like that. I might got the name a little messed up, to where you could self-identify as an Indian, pay $5, and you would be recognized as an Indian. But then you had a bill that was passed in Virginia, and I had to probably give you the name later, just for the sake of time, to where they started declassifying Black people that were labeled Indians as Black and colored. This was not federal legislation taken up by the federal government, but the states started to adopt it. So as one group became Indians, another group got reclassified and was changed to Black and people of color, and eventually became Negro, African American. So if you end up striking that bill that was passed in 1924 that made all these additional Indians, then you would have to go back to the understanding of the 14th Amendment. And so everything that was given by the government to those $5 Indians, no disrespect, would be stripped and be redirected or reappropriated. Pay attention to the play that's going on. Now understand, don't think this is going on because it has to go on because he's a saint. Donald Trump is a saint. I tell y'all all the time, slavery didn't end because they felt bad and it was wrong. Slavery ended because they found a cheaper way to do it. Also, pay attention to the King of England. The King of England just went over there to Canada and spoke. And when he spoke of the Iroquois, Algonquin or something like that. You can pull it up. It was like 2-3 days ago. And he acknowledged them, say they were the original owners of the land he was standing on, and admitted they did not cede the land. Pay attention to the shift that's going on in this world right now. There's some fundamental changes. And stop thinking because somebody got a prison built somewhere else that they got to be thinking about putting you in it. And use history as your marker. King James, the same King James that wrote the Bible or authorized for the Bible to be written, was the same one that sanctioned for the Virginia Company and the Plymouth Company, based out of the mother company, the London Company, charters to start over here that eventually ended up becoming the United States of America. Okay, the bill, baby mama helping me out. This the bill right here. This the bill right here where they reclassified in the same year that they did the Indian bill. They reclassified black folks from Indian to black and colored. That's it right there. You can look that up yourself. And the Indian Act done by President Coolidge was also in 1924. So as they registered people as Indian that were not Indian initially, they took your classification as Indian and made you black, colored, Negro, and eventually African American. These are facts, people. So what am I saying to you? What am I saying to you? Oh, I lost my thought. Oh, your historical precedence of this is when King James put all them damn jokers from Scotland, Ireland, and they also put a certain section of people in England that they called paupers. They put them on ships and sent them over here as slaves, not indentured servants, slaves, which was a form of imprisonment, but out of the country. They kicked them out of the country. The Civil Rights Bill, and I'm going to get out y'all way. I got one last clip. The Civil Rights Bill of 1964 did not benefit you. The Civil Rights Bill of 1964 did nothing but add another couple more classifications of minority, people of color and minority. It added it to the original Civil Rights Bill of the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. That's why Martin Luther King said, I believe I led my people into a burning building. I'm giving you free game here, baby. But I mean, feel what you want to feel, think what you want to think. I'm just hoping that you listen to some of the facts, and I'm going to get ready to go and get out your way. But I'm going to play this as I end. But first, I want to thank y'all. Give me some likes. Give me some thumbs up. I got something coming up on Diddy and that whole Rico thing that I think y'all going to find interesting too. As always, man, I'm trying to fuck with you. And I'm praying that one day y'all consistently continue to fuck with me. But I keep telling y'all, as I get ready to play this last thing and I'm going to end it, we got next.
Angry gets shit done.
What a better way to end it. Angry gets shit done. Not hurt nobody, not cause no craziness, but getting angry about you not getting a return on your loyalty. I'm going to run this back one more time.
Angry gets shit done.
That's what it's all about, family. Again, we got next. Deuces.